My name is Elsie Harrington and I'm playing Katherine. I have been at Grand Street since they used to do like teeny beanie camps in the summertime before even the beanies at kindergarten, so I started at 3 in the summer camp, and then that doesn't exist anymore because of me. And then I started doing the school year program when I was in 1st grade. Newsies was the first Broadway show I ever saw. It was on a trip to New York with Grand Street. It was like the first New York trip that Grand Street organized. And so I went with a bunch of my friends and my parents, and Newsies was the very first show that we saw on that trip. And I was sitting in the theater like, and I'd never seen anything like it. All about like kids aging into the status quo and realizing that things have to change. And so I left that show, and then I could not stop thinking about it forever. Like forever. And I was a newsie, I was Mike. And it was so much fun. It was exactly what I had thought it would be to get to sing all those songs. And it was also one of the first shows that I was in where I sort of like unlocked as an actor, and I started to learn a lot more about like, you know, objective and motivation and building relationships, because it's such a strong ensemble where every person gets to be individual and then grow with each other throughout the whole show. And so it was a great place for me to be 15 years old and like exploring how to do that. A really strong memory, when I did Newsies, I was put in the like little tag of King of New York with, it was just all the out-of-town dancers who were like training in dance, and 15-year-old me who'd only learned to tap dance in Billy Elliot when I was like 11. I was like, what am I doing? Oh my God. And so they choreographed the like 32 bars of music or whatever it was. And I was so just lost. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna learn this. And John Katz, who was one of the actors who came in, he played Specs, he stayed with me after rehearsal for like 2 hours to help me learn it. And it was so kind of him to take the time to help me feel really comfortable on that. And then I felt so comfortable, and that was my favorite part of that show, was to get to like tap dance in the middle of them for a bit. And so I hope that throughout this process I get the opportunity to help the conservatory students like that. All of the conservatory students who are the age that I was when I did it for the first time, they were my last class of 5th graders when I assistant taught Marianne's 5th and 6th grade class. And so when I was about to leave Grand Street before going to college, they were my last kids. And now coming back before I leave college, they're the age that I was when I did it. And it is just so like cyclical. We've all moved up a stage of life, and we still get to come back and be together for this show of all shows, which is just crazy. Katherine is extremely smart, but she's not given the space to just be smart as a woman because it's 1899. And so anything that she is passionate, she's really passionate about being independent. And so she has to fight for being able to be a reporter at her age and at her gender, and being able to go review shows. And then she's trying to work her way up to be taken seriously as a reporter because she's really good at it. But she's a woman, and she thinks that she can do that, like have an impact on that through reporting, which she absolutely can. And so when she catches wind of the strike that's happening, she's like, I have to write about this, and she does. I hope that, I mean, it's always important to remind the young people in the audience especially that your voice matters and that you can take a stand and say things, especially right now. But I think it's also important that Newsies reminds the older people in the audience of that too. And so, you know, listen to the young people around you who are like trying to tell you things are changing. It has taught me to stick to my gumption. Like, she has her values and she has her morals, and she really builds her life around them, and creates a life that she sees for herself, regardless of what anyone around her is telling her her life is meant to be. And I think that she is really skilled at like living like that and being so independent and self-sufficient, while also allowing like friendship and surprises and hope to creep in. She's taught me to sort of, just because you have to be practical doesn't mean that you don't have to hope for things that you don't know quite how to reach yet.